And luckily, we are still alive. Larry
Oh,
Johnson, my
yes.
good friend. How are you doing?
Menos mal. Gracias a Dios. Yep, I'm good.
Yeah, it's getting warm. Hopefully, just for the sun for some time. Larry, I would like to start talking. I know this is the talk of the week. You're probably tired about talking about this, but I would
No,
like to talk about the Ukrainian attacks on Russia.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, Ukraine is trying to derail to take actions that will compel Russia to suspend or end any peace negotiations so that Ukraine doesn't get blamed for ending the peace negotiations, even though that's what Ukraine wants to do. So, starting last Friday, Saturday, they launched terrorist attacks on trains. They attached explosives to two different bridges, blew them up. And in one of those cases, when they blew up the bridge, they were actually waiting for an oncoming passenger train so that the bridge would fall onto the train, which it did. Killed 7 people, injured like 131. Then they followed that up. I was Friday night, Saturday morning into Saturday. They followed that up on Sunday with this drone attacks. They attempted to attack 5 Russian bases. They apparently got onto 3 air defense systems that the other 2 thwarted the attack. Initially Ukraine, it shows you how stupid they are. They're calling it uh, Russia's Pearl Harbor. And it's
Yeah,
like, do you guys even read history? Did you go back and read about Pearl Harbor? Yeah, it was a surprise attack on the United States. Yes, the United States suffered some damage to some battleships. Some were sunk, some were damaged, but then subsequently repaired. But the attack, while a tactical success, uh, was a strategic disaster. As Admiral Yamamoto commented or reportedly commented, it's not clear if he actually said this, but it's attributed to him. We have awakened a sleeping giant and we shall pay a terrible price. And that's essentially what Ukraine did with this attack. Now, Russia's already awake. There have been attack after attack like this over the course of this war. The attack on the Crimea, the Kerch Bridge in Crimea, the attack on the Crocus Theater, the assassinations of at least 2 different generals.
which by the
Um,
way, today there was another attack on Kerch Bridge.
well, they tried. It was they sent a drone, and the drone was defeated. But again, Ukrainian media is going, "Oh, we sunk the bridge, we blew it up." It's so there's sort of a dual track going on in Russia. On one track is the public opinion, which these attacks are enraging. The public is becoming more angry, and they want, they're basically, God damn it, kill those motherfuckers. It's like that.
Yeah,
Um, the the Russian leadership, they're playing it cool. Yep, this is what they're doing, and we're not going to take the bait and walk away from the peace talks. But at the peace talks, we're going to continue to present the same position we've held since Putin presented it in June of 2024. Russia has not budged 1 inch from that. In fact, I would argue that this latest memorandum delivered to the Ukrainians is their last chance before Russia comes out with a tougher terms. So this was more like a Western PR event. It's designed to put pressure on Trump to renew military sales and keep intelligence sharing in place and keep U.S. forces in place. Remains to be seen if Trump will do that. Trump has said some really, here's a shock. Trump said some stupid things. We go, oh my God, I'm
oh
shocked.
boy.
Really? Yeah. No, yeah, his comments over the last week with respect to Russia's attacks on Ukraine, which were retaliation for a significant drone attack on Russia, that Trump said not a word about what the Ukrainians did, and he blamed it all on Russia. And the Russians, they are they're treating Trump like a special needs child. Okay, they're being kind, they're being gentle. They understand, yeah, he's probably going to crap his pants, and yeah, he he doesn't he doesn't understand simple instructions, and instead of getting mad at the kid because they have a limited brain function, they just pat him on the head and work with him. That it's this is I don't mean to
Uh,
insult special needs kids, but that's really sort of what Trump is.
we just had Senator Richard Blumenthal yesterday saying, and I'm gonna quote this because I had to wrote this up. Putin is playing Trump like he's playing him for a sucker. This, you know, I hate to agree with Richard Blumenthal. It really looks like uh, it's not Putin playing; he's just being that.
Well, no, how is he playing him for a sucker? Because to play someone for a sucker is to say, "Oh, Marcelo, man, I think your program is the greatest. I can't wait to be on it." And then you'll see me on another podcast. This Marcelo clown, man, he runs a shitty show. I don't think I'm ever going back on. So,
Everybody got that, right?
well, so, but the point
You're
is,
here every week, so I think it's averagely good.
yeah, I'm saying one thing to your face and then doing another. The Russians are saying the same damn thing to Trump. I mean, they're not hiding it. They're not saying, "Oh yeah, we definitely want a peace deal at any price." No, they're not saying that at all. Just the opposite. This is the problem. Trump and his team aren't paying attention to what the Russians are saying. Just listen to them.
Yep.
And then if you're not understanding what they're saying, get a translator or ask him to speak more slowly. But
Or or a
Russia's not hiding
blackboard.
what it's doing.
Someone needs to start drawing things, I guess. Larry,
Yeah, do it in pictures.
doing pictures. Well, AI can do a very good job nowadays with ChatGPT and stuff like that. Not so hard. Larry, since you mentioned history, one thing got me intrigued this week. You remember, I even wrote to you. Well, oh crap! There was this news about Russian secrets that leaked somewhere. Nuclear stuff, and then we had this attack. At the moment, I wrote to you, and then I look at the actual article and say, this is crap. This is bullshit." Then
Yeah.
that happened, and I was like, "Oh, okay. This is bullshit. The article is bullshit." But then that happened into nuclear, well, not the great Russian triad, but nuclear triad, but at some of it. Do you
Well,
think that could have been a warning? Oh, look, we are going for the silos next.
no, no. Look. The a total of 7 planes were destroyed, not 41 as Ukraine claimed. Um, it, I think the number of those so-called strategic bombers, dude, those things they're older than me.
Yeah.
They're 73 years old. Okay, now they've been updated and they properly maintained, but it's still 73-year-old aircraft, propeller driven. This is not cutting edge technology, number one. And number two, it doesn't represent a significant portion of Russia's air power. And the air component of Russia's military doctrine has been its weakest. It's the one that it's least dependent on, because they count more on the submarines with submarine-launched ballistic missiles, and then the land-based ballistic missiles. But still, this was in terms of strategically harming Russia's ability to launch nuclear weapons. It was a meaningless effort. It was symbolic, but this isn't about symbolism. This is about actual capabilities. So it was a risky play from the standpoint of the West, because what it does is it just simply lays a predicate that Russia can fall back on in the future for upping and expanding its target list of both Ukrainian and NATO targets.
Yeah. What about this call from Lavrov to Rubio? We still don't have a readout, do we? I checked the White House just before.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
not,
isn't that curious? I guess it's because they were, wishing each other's mothers the best of health, and offering, hey Marker, what's your address? I want to send you some flowers and candies there, dude. That's Lavrov. Yeah, now that's what happened. No. It was a call that Lavrov, in typical fashion, I believe, had a very direct conversation with Marco Rubio, noting and detailing the fact that we know that you are continuing to provide support and enabling these terrorist attacks against our country, and we're going to hold you folks accountable. That's why I suggested that after the phone call, Marco Rubio probably had to go change his underwear. So
bring me the brown pants. You know that joke.
Wiper. Sorry.
Please continue doing that every show. Larry, let's move a little bit when I recover. Let's move a little bit to Iran and the negotiations about the nuclear deal with Iran. Every week it's ups and downs, the montanha russa, the roller coaster, ups and downs. Some weeks seems about all right. Some weeks seems that they are recovering, going back. How do you see this week's negotiations?
Yeah, what group sang that song? Roller coaster. Remember that?
All right, it's the guys from your area. There is
is this
Red Hot
disco
Chili
song.
Pepper, no?
Yeah, huh?
Red Hot Chili Peppers, no? Roller coaster.
I don't think that was
perhaps
Red
it's
Hot
another
Chili
one.
Peppers. Okay, wait, we've got to look this up.
We have to find out.
Okay, look it up. Look it up real quick. You're in charge of this
I'll
shit.
look it up.
I'm giving you direction, because we ought to put that on as the background music.
When I'll do the cuts, I'll put on the background music.
I want to say Sly and the Family Stone.
Let me check.
Well, a momentary pause for a cultural knowledge check.
Uncomfortable silence. Roller coaster song.
I would like to.
Honey, love roller coaster. No, there's a lot of roller coasters. What was the
just roller coaster?
Just roller coaster. Yeah,
roller
coaster. So, Esquila? No. Ohio players, Red Hot Chili
Ohio
Peppers.
player. I think it's Ohio.
I got one right.
I think it's Ohio players. Put it on real quick. Just see. You just do.
I'll find here on. on Spotify. Hey, Spotify, if you want pay for the show, I'm gonna get demonetized for that, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'll just play. I think.
Ohio.
Let me see if that's.
Ohio
Hang
play.
on.
Is it this
Yeah,
one?
from the midnight special.
No.
No,
Thank you.
that was called Love Roller Coaster. Oh well, okay. I got us off on a distraction. Well, let's go back to your question about, because one of your listeners, I'm sure, will come up with it.
Yeah. Come on, guys. What's the name of the song? Put here in the comments.
But I can hear the tune in my head, Yeah. But Trump, 1 minute he's saying, yeah, we got a deal to allow, low level enrichment, 3%. And then the next moment, no, nothing, no, zero. I mean, it's changing like from hour to hour. So I really, all I know is the Iranians are saying, these people are confusing the hell out of us. They say one thing, and then the next minute they're saying another thing. So it makes it really difficult to negotiate a deal when the deal is always changing. So we'll see. Iran has not walked away yet, but it is the one that's creating the obstacle and preventing any progress here is the United States. Nobody else.
Yeah, it sounds to me that's quite simple. I mean, come on, again, bring the blackboard. Enrichment, okay, we have a deal. No enrichment, no deal. Arachi tweeted that. That's, I mean, Trump is on social media. He could look
Yeah,
at that. I did. You
very,
did.
very clear thinking on the part of the Iranians. You know,
Some enrichment, okay. No nuclear bombs, okay. No enrichment, not okay. Guys, watch our show. We said that last week. Just follow our leads.
yeah. This is unfortunately Trump is really he's almost a hostage of the Zionist movement. He's willing to oppose Bibi Netanyahu on some things and not on others. But then he allows this entire, ruse about anti-Semitism. Is anybody criticizes the policy, what the Israelis are doing and their actions against the Palestinians, is immediately accused of being an anti-Semite and almost can be potentially indicted for a hate crime, it would seem. And it's really leading to repression of freedom of speech in the United States. And the media, particularly Fox, is organized to, they're going to push the Israeli line regardless.
Yeah, and I'm seeing this rising as well in Brazil. Just this week, Lula made some comments about Israel attacking Gaza. Everybody's watching this. No news there. It was nothing. It was nothing at all that he said, and we had the machine turned at full steam. CNN, BBC, they have accounts in Brazil, CNN Brazil, BBC Brazil, Deutsche Welle Brazil, all saying the same line. Lula's being anti-Semite. It's talking with the anti-Semitism. Come on, we, we have to have a minimum of notion of stuff. People cannot go around doing what they are doing. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Harry.
Well, it's the way in which the West is really prostituted itself out to the Zionists in Israel. It's just shameful.
we had Pierce Morgan. We had Pierce Morgan slamming Israel. Can you see how bad things are when Pierce Morgan turns against Israel?
Oh yeah, yeah,
That, that's bad deal. That's bad
yeah.
deal.
Well,
Larry, tell me.
the rest of the world could really do a lot to stop this the murder of the Palestinian people and try to dispossess them of their land. I continue to return to just here we are in the 21st century, and we think we're very modern, sophisticated people based in science. And yet, so much of our attention and political resources are devoted to this ridiculous notion that some so called supreme being selected this one particular group of people to say, you are so special that I'm going to give you the right to kill anybody you want because you're clearing out the land because this land belongs to you. And I gave it to you, but we don't have a deed and there was no real estate deal. But trust me, and from the river to the sea, this is your land. And so this group of people, most of whom come out of Europe, but practice the Judaism, now declare that, oh my God, this is God gave this land to us. This has been ours forever, ever. Yeah, we haven't lived on it for 2,000 years, but why worry about that? We had prior ownership. I mean, really, it's if we did not have the knowledge that we have and sort of the existing narratives beat into us, if someone came off a spaceship and began telling us this story, we'd go, "Are you crazy? It's ridiculous." So this entire fraud that is the Old Testament of the Bible. People, oh, this is sacred scripture. No, it's not. Absolutely not. It's I call it, it's a collection of justifications for demonic behavior, for murder, mayhem, rape, and all in the name of saying that we're a special people. And it does carry a contradictory message because on the one hand, the the Genesis, the start of this book, it's just that all mankind was was created by God. Okay, well, if those who are created by God are the sons and daughters of God, then by definition, everyone, not just a small select group of people who claim to be religious Jews, and there's the other oddity. Even the most ultra Orthodox Jews don't believe in Israel. They believe it's against Scripture. So it's a whole nother thing. But everybody is a son and daughter of God if that opening chapter of Genesis is to be believed. But then they write another story about making Adam out of the dirt and carving Eve out of a rib, and it was like a Legos class gone wild. And we're supposed to then believe that, oh, these people are so special that you can't say anything bad about them, and if you do, it's a crime.
They passed a law in Rio de Janeiro. Although we are a federal state, it's a federal country. They passed a law in Rio de Janeiro forbidding people to, bad mouthing, Semites. Let's call
Yeah,
it like
yeah.
so good for our country. That law so productive. I love when politicians work very hard for the people. Larry, I have one question and I'll let you out of here. China, United States is crying because China is holding some, rare rare earth minerals, and they're slowing down the exports to the United States. How does the United States intend to build the golden dome without the minerals?
But they can't. And so it's not so much that China is the only source of mined rare earth minerals. In fact, you can find those rare earth minerals here in the United States just 45 minutes north of me. The issue is being able to process that material to produce the final items that can then that then are critical components for producing a lot of communication systems, a lot of weapon systems. That's where China holds the advantage. So the United States doesn't have a good alternative there. So I think what you're what you're looking at is here again. Trump shot his mouth off without thinking this through. And I know there's people sitting around saying, "Oh no, surely they thought this through." And it's becoming clear. No, they didn't think this through at all. In terms of, oh, we're going to impose these sanctions, and the countries are just going to line up pleading for a deal. Remember Trump? It's now like 2 months ago. They're lining
75
up
countries.
they're lining up to kiss my ass, he said. Really? You know what? The only country that's lined up to kiss his ass, so to speak, was Keir Starmer from the UK, which may suggest something about Starmer and male asses. There may be a connection there. Who knows?
I was going to jump into that, but thank you. You made it first. Oh boy, my channel's going down. No worry.
We made no direct accusations, just suggestions of possible connections, associations.
Perhaps. We are actually talking about how's that? All this is based on fictional characters. Any resemblance with truth is mere coincidence.
Yeah. That's
Every week, these Europeans are not helping at all. I'm having hours of very valuable material because of them. Thank you.
Yeah, I would replay if you want the best image of the UK, and it's said, "Oh man, we're going to become a military power. We're going to get you, Russia."
This is even better.
Take that, lift that scene from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where the Black Knight has had both arms and legs chopped off, and they're mouthing off on the ground. He looks like a pillow with a head.
I'm gonna bite your ankles.
Yeah, yeah. That's the
Come
UK
back,
right
come
there.
back.
That one image describes in detail what the United Kingdom has become. A legless, armless cripple
With a big mouth.
Yeah.
With a big
Oh
mouth.
my God. Yeah.
Yeah, Larry, thank you very much, my good friend. We're getting it better and better every week. Although the fear of death, let's put that aside, the shows is getting just better and better.
Well, I'm glad I can help brighten your day.
Well, yeah, I'm happier than I was 45 minutes ago.
Great.
Larry. So everybody remember, like, share, subscribe to the channels. This is also being broadcast to Larry Johnson's Rambo and BitChute. Follow Larry on all the social medias. Here on the IDM, you have all the links on the description. If you wanna, especially on sonar21.com, if you wanna help Larry's work, he writes for getting people to understand things. But if you want to contribute, there's also the QR code on the screen. You can see there. Larry Johnson, my good friend, thank you very much.
All right, buddy.
And
Thanks,
next
Marcelo.
week we're gonna jump, but probably 2 weeks from now we're gonna see each other again.
Yeah, we'll reconvene in 2 weeks. Okay. Talk to you later.
Thank you, man. Talk to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.